Welcome back to Tamara Bowling video ball reviews. Today we have the new Storm Summit Ascent. If you like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out on Patreon. First impressions, the Summit Ascent starts off actually quite big for a couple games and then starts to settle into what it actually is, which is a benchmark type ball. Alright, so jumping right in, we've seen the centripetal core for some time now in various iterations with higher, medium, and lower differential options. With its round style shape, it can be, strong, dynamic, as in the Marvels. If you think back about the Marvel Solid, Marvel Pro, Marvel S, and benchmark stable like in the IQ Tours. Now here it's a very low RG, which is close to almost all of the versions, but a very high differential. And it goes from one of the strongest covers in the original Summit to a medium strength R2S solid in the Summit Ascent. This allows the cover to be less dominant and allows the core to behave a little more to its own specs, if you will. So it'll still want to write itself fairly quickly, but still flare a ton. The cover, like I said, is it's medium, so it's benchmark territory. I worry, the diff might be a bit high for a benchmark. The initial test out of box showed it to be very strong and hard to get down lane, to be honest. But that's kind of a combination of out of box initial strength and the pattern being a little shorter house shot than previous tests. We revisited after a few games and it's calmer overall, but not as early. I like the shape for benchmark type where it clears well enough, but core gets it going. It goes through the pins quite well, but what I found was as I started to edge in and open up the lanes, my carry decreased. So I'd go from a ball that really drives hard through the deck to shots that stood up enough to reduce carry. And this is really my concern with big differential balls for a benchmark level. The roll is nice, but this is my watch out for the Ascent. Now with Tyler, we kind of had a similar situation. The first couple games, the ball looked just so strong it was just about unusable. If you recall, the phase two I actually had the same thing for about 20 games. It was just out of control. The Ascent is R2S solid, like we mentioned, so it only took about 2 games for him to settle it down as well. As you'd expect, having a higher rev rate, he can get deeper while maintaining his carry longer than I could. He really liked the shape, same description as was for me, so I won't repeat that. Nice balance of medium cover to stronger core, which allows the core to do what it's meant to do. The low RG makes it stable both on lane and to the eye, so it gives a very predictable look. The bigger differential makes it more dynamic than a benchmark, but still may be passable as such. Tyler also found that as he moved in, his carry percentage went down. Sounds logical, but I mean, we're talking small moves. So it went from excellent carry to middling carry. So again, something to consider. This is likely a function of the higher friction, SPL lanes we have. Something we don't address specifically, but I will say if you are on Pro Anvil lane, you'll get more length and angularity. SPL has higher friction, so rounds out ball reaction while causing a bit more forward roll. And as you move in, sometimes that's more noticeable. All right, last but not least, we have our stroker, Brian, testing the new Summit Ascent. He was able to get the initial strength out of the way and onto proper testing. As we know, he'll play more direct than Tyler and I, and this gives you a view of how the ball behaves with more closed angles. He had a pretty nice arcing shape. He had, he looked good around the second arrow. That's kind of where the shot's playing. He started more direct and the shot was okay. Sometimes the extra friction outside just kills the ball motion. As he moved a couple boards in, the ball looked better, stored a bit more energy to yield better results. He's going to be boxed in a little bit again because of the house shot. And I'll say the same thing about the lane pattern. And I think that'll be a prominent theme really whenever you watch our videos, right? With our SPL lanes as compared to Pro Anvil lanes if you have those type in your house. So bottom line, at the end of the day, once it calms down after those first couple games, the Summit Ascent settles into benchmark territory, which I consider mid-control. And I feel like Storm maybe struggling a bit in the mid-control slot right now. Phase 2, I'd say, is a strong control benchmark. The road seems to be iffy. I mean, I like the shape, but I don't know that it's, kind of hit. It's a little forward. The Ascent may step on the road's toes in terms of purpose, even while the specs are different. I think bowlers on Pro Anvil Lane will have a better look overall with this ball than SPL, and that's just something to kind of take away. So we'll stop there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a future episode.